Legend has the Datus, compelled by the oppressive reign of Raha of Borneo, set sail across treacherous waters, braving the perils of the open sea in search of freedom and prosperity. Their quest led them to Panay, where they encountered the indigenous Ate tribe, who inhabited the island. Despite initial tensions, the Datus and the Ati engaged in diplomacy and negotiation, forging a historic pact that would shape the destiny of the region. Maragtas, a term derived from the Visayan language meaning history or writing, constitutes a rich tapestry of legendary tales deeply woven into the fabric of Philippine folklore and mythology. These narratives trace the epic journey of 10 Malay chieftains, known as Datus, who embarked a daring voyage from their homeland in Borneo to seek sanctuary and new opportunities in the distant shores of Panay, one of the Philippine islands around 13th century. Despite the uncertainty surrounding its origins, Maragtas continues to hold a revered place in Filipino cultural identity, serving as a source of pride and inspiration for the nation. It is celebrated in festivals, commemorated in literature and art, and taught in school as a testament of resilience, ingenuity, and collective spirit of the Filipino people. In this way, Maragtas endures as a timeless symbol of Philippine heritage, connecting past, present, and future generations in a shared journey of discovery and appreciation.
The names of 10 datos vary across different versions of the Maragtas tales, and there isn't a universally agreed upon list. However, some common names that appear in these narratives include Datu Puti, Datu Sumakwel, Datu Bangkaya, Datu Pai Burong, Datu Balensula, Datu Padu Hinog, Datu Dumangsol, Datu Libay, Datu Tumangsil, and lastly, Datu Lubay. Chieftains are central figures in the Maragtas legends, representing the leaders who led their people in the migrations from Borneo to Panay and played significant roles in establishing communities and governance structures in their new homeland. In the Maragtas narratives, each of the 10 datos is typically attributed specific roles and responsibilities, although these roles may vary slightly depending on the version of the story. Here's a general overview of the roles often associated with each datu. Datu Puti, often portrayed as a wise and diplomatic leader, he is typically depicted as a primary negotiator and spokesperson among the datus. He is skilled in diplomacy and plays a central role in forging alliances with the indigenous peoples of Panay. Datu Sumakwel is commonly depicted as a respected elder and advisor among the datus. He is known for his wisdom, judgment, and adherence to traditional customs and law. Sumakwel often serves as a mediator in disputes and is consulted for his counsels on matters of the government.
Datu Bangkaya is often portrayed as a courageous and valiant warrior among the Datus. He is skilled in combat and is responsible for defending the community against external threats and enemies. Dato Pai Burong is typically associated with agriculture and land cultivation. He oversees the management of agricultural resources and ensures the prosperity of the community through farming and cultivation practices. Dato Balensula is often depicted as a skilled craftsman and a tradesman. He is responsible for overseeing trade relations with neighboring communities and ensuring the economic stability of the community through commerce and exchange. Dato Paduhinok is commonly associated with leadership and governance. He plays a central role in decision making and policy implementation within their community, working closely with other datus to maintain order and stability. Dato Dumangsul is often portrayed as a spiritual leader and keeper of traditional beliefs and customs. He oversees religious rituals and ceremonies within the community and serves as a spiritual guide for the people. Datu Libay is typically associated with social welfare and community development. He is responsible for addressing the needs of the people, including healthcare, education, and social services. Dumangsil is often depicted as a skilled navigator and explorer. He is responsible for exploring new territories, establishing trade routes, and expanding the influence of the community beyond its borders. Datu Lubay is commonly associated with diplomacy and peacemaking. He is skilled in negotiation and conflict resolution and works to maintain peaceful relations with neighboring communities and tribes. These roles highlight the diverse talents and expertise of the Datus, each contributing to the overall well-being and prosperity in the Maragtas narratives. These chieftains' stories were not written, but rather it is spoken to one generation to another, and it makes sense how these datus play their roles in the omnipresent in the past.
However, the historical veracity of Maragtas remains a subject of scholarly inquiry and debate. While some historians and cultural experts view it as a valuable repository of indigenous knowledge and cultural heritage, others approach it with caution, recognizing its legendary nature and the lack of concrete historical evidence to corroborate its claims.
The Maragtas is an original work by Pedro A. Monteclaro, published in mixed Hiligaynon and Kin-iraya in Iloilo in 1907, which claims to be nothing more than that. It was based on a written and oral sources. It talks about the folk customs and idealized political confederation, and a migration legend of Bornean settlers. While some parts might be true, it is hard to tell fact from fiction due to oral transmission over generations. The Maragtas is published by the author named William Henry Scott. The confusion might stem from the fact that William Henry Scott, a notable historian, wrote extensively about Philippine history and ethnography. He published several works that analyze and discuss the Maragtas, shedding light on its historical context and significance. However, Scott did not author the Maragtas itself. Rather, he provided scholarly commentary and analysis on it. In conclusion, the Maragtas provides valuable historical context, distinguishing fact from fictions due to reliance on oral tradition.